It was literally David Clues 1 minute, and then now I understand, the angel of your presence. It was probably Michael. Actually, that's why Michael Dale had such a close relationship. I figured that out. It was literally the two of you. It was Michael and David, priest and king, and it was the presence of the Lord in and out of you as Michael. That's why Michael Dale was such a close, and he's looking at, he thought I was off there. Anyway, I was. But through this production, where the hosts of heaven, everybody's focused on what's happening in our living room, was this lead, and it led to seed being planted. First of all, the first thing that JCDC said to me was, what if God were a she? What if he was a she? And of course I go, oh, but the Word of God says, da, 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 da. But in my mind I'm thinking, well, hold on, who is it that I'm talking to? And was he really trying to tell me? Now this is really out of the box. Maybe we should be thinking about she.
Oh, we all thought we were mad at this point, and just off the planet.
Anyway, for 2 months this went on. I don't know, and David spent time with us. He began sleeping on the couch and then on the floor. He baptised himself in the Parramatta River.
So got my feet on oysters and blood into the river.
Oh man!
And then the other time when I walked through the park and threw everything off me, apart from my sheet, and I had someone to give me a watch or a chain, and I threw it away.
Yeah.
Because I realised that the things that were given to me weren't given out of love; they were given out of consequence.
Right.
Consequence out of love. So they weren't, the meaning behind the gifts weren't. There was no meaning behind the gifts.
Right.
So why keep the gifts?
No.
They're meaningless.
And then you remember our trip to St Mary's Cathedral that Saturday. I know exactly what day it was. It was a Saturday afternoon, the 21st of January.
Don't forget the cars.
No, that's what I'm talking about. This I'm about to come up to the lead up. Okay. David says, we've got to go to St Mary's Cathedral. Don't know why. He'd already started growing a beard by this time. Hey, get a load of this. Actually, it was this guy's face, if you think about it. Remember that it was too. One day during the week, he's having to buy a newspaper, the Telegraph News. Don't know why. Turn to page 3. He says, that's why. It's a story about Waverton train station. Now, that train station, months before I realised that train station figured in one of Morris's dreams, his description of it. Okay, I drive past, this is Benny Morris. Okay, it's this story about the face of Jesus in the moss, literally the moss and the mould and everything on the wall of the train track itself. Yeah. The face of Jesus, and people are attracted to it, and they go and look at it because they're looking at the face of Jesus. So JC's reading this, and then without saying anything, he begins growing a beard. So this is I'm telling you the way it seemed to me. So anyway, and then he begins reading the scriptures that he's never done before. And of course the scriptures say, as a child, you grew in wisdom and stature. So, all right, he begins reading the scriptures, and he's pretty quick minded, he's downloading things and all the rest of it. And I made this comment to Diane overseas, I said, he's downloading the scriptures, he's getting them really fast and all the rest of it. And I said, he's growing he's growing in wisdom and stature. Not only that, the beard and everything else, he's changing from glory to glory. And it seemed like all of heaven was listening to our conversation, because I'd have a conversation with my friend overseas, then he'd come back from wherever he'd been and all that, and pretty much repeat the conversation. And when I had that conversation with Diane about you growing in wisdom and stature and all the rest of it, he says, I know I'm really young in this, but today I feel like a 12 years old in stature, like reading the Word of God. He says, tomorrow I'll probably be an old man.
But I used to do party tricks as well, where I'd spin the Bible 3 times and I'd open it up, and whatever passage I'd read would reflect what we've been talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was quite
God, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it was quite, yeah.
Anyway, getting down to the St Mary's, okay, all right. Now, in my Freedom Wagon there was this clock that I had never been able to set on the right time. It didn't matter what I did or tried to find how to set this thing. It was never on the right time. Okay, we've got to go to St Mary's Cathedral. We're driving there. David sits in the passenger seat and he goes, ding, boom. It's on the right time. It was 4:55 this Saturday afternoon, 21st of January. And I said, my God, how did you do that? He said, well, I don't know, I just did it. So it's on the right time for the first time ever. So we drive up to St Mary's Cathedral and we had Charlie with us. He says, we'll only be a few minutes. So I park the car, we get out, go into the cathedral, and we're moseying around the cathedral and noting all the death everywhere. And you go and lift 7 of the altar candles or whatever they are and put them in your pocket. And somebody starts following us, and there was this Greek wedding happening and all this activity going on. And then we walk outside and we're standing in front of the doors on here before the stairs go down.
Yep.
And then he thinks to go back inside to look at something else when the doors are slammed shut. Well, like that. There's people inside there, but the doors, we can't get back in. And I'm thinking, isn't there a joke about this and the church and Jesus trying to get in the church and, you know, hey, it's me. and I'm looking at it and I'm
Jesus can't get in.
That's right. You know. So we're looking at each other like this and then we're like, okay, so we'll go down the stairs. So we go to walk down the stairs and the gates are shut in front of us. No, so we can't go back in.
We
And now
can't
the
get out.
gates, we can't get out. And there's this
Stuck in
very
between.
young, there's this very young looking boy there closing the gates. Anyway, David starts talking French to this boy. Turns out the guy's French. And they have this conversation in French. You know, okay. Goes on 5 minutes and all the rest of it. He opens the gate, let us out. We go downstairs and we're looking at this statue of some dead person, dead religious person. And David's processing the conversation, and the guy told him that he was there on, he'd saved his money to come over and work for the priest. It was a sabbatical for him or something. And David said, there's no way. He said straight out, the guy is an F-U-C-K, he's for the priest. And I go, oh, all right.
They do that.
I do, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so then we start walking back toward the car, and I'm looking down in the distance, and I notice that my boot is up like this, and I can see Charlie at the window like this, and then I notice the 2 policemen and a 3rd person standing around my car, and I go, oh my God. Charlie has to run towards the car, and I've got the key out, and it's the wrong key. I can't unlock the door, and I finally got the Charlie was in the car. We left Charlie in the car.
And you left the boot?
Grabbed Charlie. This man standing here for 40 minutes had opened up the trunk to let air into the car because
The
it
trunk
was
wasn't
very
locked.
hot. The trunk was never locked.
Wasn't that hot?
It doesn't lock. Well, anyway, and the 2 policemen are waiting there to arrest me because I'd left. Now, okay. David sits down in the front seat of the car and just flicks through his Bible, and I'm turning around now to the Inquisition. Okay, this female policewoman starts telling me in no uncertain terms, you know, what criminal behaviour, and I'm going, yes, yeah, I understand, it's okay, all right, my dog is safe, it's all right, okay, yeah, right, yell at me, keep it coming, you know, okay, all right, move on, I've got it, I've done wrong, I should be thrown away in jail, okay, what's next? And I'm saying, look, I just, my dog is safe, that's the only thing that worries to me, and the only thing that matters to me. Then she says, well, what were you doing in the church anyway? And I think, hello? What kind of question is that? Now I start to think, well, wait. I said, look, I know I've done wrong here. Throw the book at me. I don't care. My dog is alive, and that's the only thing I worry. So get on with your parking ticket, and we are allowed to visit a church. Huh? She says, all right, well, don't get aggressive. Then I turn to the angel here, and I put my hand on him, and I said, thank you. I know that I've wasted your time, but I just want to thank you. I said, look, I've only had the pup, for a couple of days, and I'm just not used to having her with me. And we were only supposed to be a few minutes, and I'm really, really, really sorry to have wasted your time. He starts to melt and says, well, you know, it's okay. I know how it is. I have dogs too, and, you know, and blah. And then the constable, I said, look, I've wasted your time as well. I just want to thank you. You know, Thank you. By this time we get back to and she's calmed down, and she said, you know, you could have put your dog in your handbag and taken, I said, oh, useful information for next time. Thank you very, very much. And then she said, how long were you here? And I go, oh, haven't a clue. She says, where is your parking ticket? And she goes to get this old parking ticket out of the front, and I'm saying,